one real quick because I tell you, I had a very awesome last couple of days. Um, I went on a camping trip, you know, with my church. I believe it's church here in Idaho, and I went with the young people. You know, the little humans that some of us seem to forget every now and then. And so they're between ages 8 and 10. I think was the oldest. And I went on this trip, and before I get into, hey Courtney, what's up? How are you? So before I get started, please you guys go ahead and share the broadcast out with you because I do have a message. This is not just me talking and rambling. I do have a message here that I want to say. What's up, Chris? What's going on? Hey, yeah, Terry is back. Terry spent 4 days, well, 3.5 days in the wilderness, and that's not my thing. I've never been a camper. I've never been, one to go out and do all that. But I was glad to go, and I went. My daughter Zariah, she went too. Javante didn't go this year. He wished that he had her, but he didn't, and it's okay. It's okay. Yes, I went camping. I know it's. I know. I know. I'm trying to do things differently. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do some stuff, and so here's my message. Right? I went out to this church camp. Now, going into the church camp, I was just like, days leading up to the church camp, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I volunteered to do it because I figured Miss Gil Martin, who was the leader of the camp, Miss Amanda, who is a trooper for sure. She was the leader. I know she needs some folks to volunteer, more men. So I said, you know what? Just let me. I'm a volunteer because I want to go. Okay, that's just how it was for me. The days leading up to we, I have a cookout on Sunday. That's all good, and then we left on Monday morning. Get there, my spirit, my soul is still saying, I'm just a body. No, I'm nobody. I was a camp counselor. It's me, a camp counselor. So, um, going into it Monday, I was just like, yeah, I'm still a body. I'm nobody. I'm still a body. So we get to the campsite. Now the campsite is about 2 hours from where I live currently, right here in Twin Falls. We were up in the Sawtooth. We was up Sawtooth, Camp Sawtooth, up in Ketchum, which is about 2 hours away. Hey, April, and we get there, and it was, still. I got a bunch of kids. Me and my other camp counselor we had 6 of the older boys in the camp. And it was still surreal because I don't go camping. I've never been camping. I know nothing. Well, I'll take that back. I have gone camping once, about a month and a half ago with my friends Bruce and Allison. That was, that's different though. So we get into the cabin. Now the cabin is about the size of a sardine can. If you guys have been, like camping, cabins and stuff. So I'm like, all right, let's do it, right? And so we had the first. What's up, Juan? We had the first chapel service for the children. Hey, Rhonda. Um, and that particular service changed my outlook on everything. Right? I want you guys to check. I want you guys to stay with me here. What's up, Maurice? Stay with me here. These children are babies, right? So when they're going and they're praising and they're worshiping and they're doing all this stuff, right? These children have no fear at all. They're gonna give God give God his due. They're gonna have a good time, and they're just pure, you know. At 7, 8, 9 years old, they're pure. So I'm standing there in the back of the chapel because I'm not really a forefront person like Melissa is. She's in the she wanted to be right where the fire is. I am in the back, right? And I'm sitting in the back and I'm going, wow, these children have no fear. But there are so many adults that I've seen, this is me included, that will let praise and worship go by and won't utter a word. And then we wonder why we miss things in our life. These kids, some come from broken homes, some come from different ethnic backgrounds, some have mental capacity issues. But these kids, in that moment, in the praise and worship moment, none of it mattered. Hey, coach, none of it mattered. And it made me evaluate Terry. Now, if you've never seen a child give God praise for whatever reason, if you've never seen it, if you've never experienced it, I encourage you, I implore you to do so because it is the purest form of love ever. And there are adults, like I said, me included. I will let praise and worship go. I'll be transparent with you guys. There have been times where I've gone to church and said, I'm going to sit out praise and worship. Just give me the word. I've done that. I don't know how many of you watching this have done that, but I've done it. I have went to church and said, you know what? I'm just going to let praise and worship go. Y'all call me when the sermon starts. But this week, watching these kids just in their pure and their innocence, just give God praise. And that changed my whole perception of life. It changed my whole thing. If you haven't, I mean, for some reason, adults get that they have this. It's got to be this whole, grandeur of praise and worship. You got to be snotting and crying. No, you don't. It's just that pure and that innocent, that in that moment, thanking God for what you have in your life or what you don't have in your life in that moment. It made me reevaluate my life. One night, I think it was Tuesday. We started went on Monday. Tuesday night. When I tell you, I'm in the kids' chapel. I'm in this. We're in chapel, and I am so overwhelmed with the emotion. I'm in the back still, in the back, in tears. Like, God, why can't we be just like that? And the word came to me. God gave it to me. He said, some of us need to go back to square one. Henceforth, the title of this live. Some of us need to go right back to square one. We have done everything in our life and we've made a mess of it and we took God out and we did all this and we made a mess and we made mistakes and we've gone backwards and we've done all of that. And this is me included. God said to me in that moment, go back to square one. You missed the simplest task because you were too busy. Go back to square one. I got something to show you. Go back to square one. So for me, and I'm telling you guys who are listening and watching, I hope you share this. Let's go back to square one. I get it. We're mad at people. I get it. We've been hurt by people. I get it. People have lied on us. I get it. I get it. Ain't about them. It ain't about them. I know that's bad English, and I'm sorry. But it ain't about them. Some of us, I miss you too, Allison. Some of us are going to miss the purest things in life because we're busy. Go back to square one. You remember when we was coming up and going through preschool and kindergarten? Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. Preschool and kindergarten, and we learned our ABCs. We learned our numbers. We learned our shapes. But after that, boom, you went to first grade, second grade, third grade, boom, you forgot all about that. We need to go back to learn the ABCs. I don't know about you. This is for me. Somebody's watching this need to hear that. Somebody needs to go back to the ABCs. Somebody need to go back and relearn the alphabet, relearn their shapes, because you missed the task. You missed the task because you're too busy. Watching these kids, hey Jermaine, hey Lala, these kids don't have much of a care. They don't care who's looking. They don't care. They didn't care. And they gave God his due. And the last day of camp, last night, there were so many kids when the Pastor Dave, he said, who wants to give their life to Christ? Let's start from here. The Bible says if you teach, it was awesome. He says, with children, the Bible says that if you teach a child in the way they should go, when they grow up, they won't depart. These kids raised their hand and they gave their life to Christ. 6th grade to 12 years old. Back at square one. So Devontae, back at square one. For me, touch my soul, touch my whole life in that moment. These are our future doctors, teachers, therapists, counselors, daycare owners, real estate developers, social media influence person. This is our future. This is our future here. As adults, we got to get back. I was so over. When I tell you, this 4 days, I hope somebody share this to the church. I want them to see this. These 4 days has transformed my life. If you guys that know me, then I come on here and I give advice all the time, right? But for those of you guys that know me for real, where I was is nowhere in comparison to where I am right now. So if you like what you heard before, oh my Lord, get ready because it's coming. Yes, train up a child in the way it should go. I wish my parents would have followed that scripture. It's okay. The change, Miss April, begins with you. So the change begins with you. Miss Lala said, love our babies. Love our babies. And I'm telling you, stepping outside of my comfort zone was something I didn't think I was ever going to do. But I did. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad these 4 days were so more. That's right. I wish more people could have that type of transformation. You know what? They can if they choose to. because I was there. Like I said, when I first got there, it was just I'm a body, I'm a volunteer. I'm just helping out the cause. But in helping out the cause, I set myself free. So here's what I want you guys to catch. Here's the catch. Here's what I want you guys to catch in your spirit. If you don't hear nothing else I say in this 20-minute live I'm going to do, I mean 16 minutes. Hey, Devery. Hey, Townsend. Hey, Samantha. What's going on? Here's what I want you guys to catch. Sometimes doing what you don't really want to do will set you free. Sometimes just saying, I want to do that, but I'm not going to do it because of whatever reason. Sometimes doing that will set you free. Here's a question. Are you content on where you are? Are you content? Hey, April, you're such a great fit. So lady across our path. I'm glad I did too. Are you content on where you are? Are you happy with stuff? This is, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you guys go for real. I had a child. I told you guys in the beginning. I had what's up, Dave? Somebody comes on exactly. I had 6 of the older children in the camp. We had me and my other counselor. He was the lead counselor. I was his assistant, Ezra, who was the camp director's husband. We had 6 of the oldest guys or young men in the camp, and one of the young men, name was Adrian. I mean, kids are innocent. They're gonna say what comes on their brain. They're kind of like drunk folk, and they just say whatever, just spews it. And so we were sitting at breakfast yesterday morning, and Adrian says to me, because one thing that I try to instill in my children, any of them at the daycare or whether I'm somewhere else with children, they always will address me as Mr. Terry. Don't go by my first name. If you want to make me mad, don't do that. Mr. Terry, that's just a respect thing, right? Just like I call Mrs. Allison, Miss Allison, Miss Devery, Miss whoever's in daycare, Miss Creole, all of them, Miss, sign of respect. So he says, Mr. Terry he said, why are your teeth crooked? That's what he said to me. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know. I like my teeth. My teeth have been, I've had the same set of choppers for 44 years. They ain't going no place. All right. And then he says, well, Mr. Terry, why don't you get braces? I said, well, Adrian, this is a teachable moment for you. And this is what I said. I said, Adrian, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? I see me. I said, okay. When I look in the mirror, I see someone who is happy with just the way that I look. Crooked teeth, scruffy beard, the whole 9 yards. I'm happy with me. I'm 44 years old. I'm too old to have straight teeth now. I said, so, and we laughed about it. But he said to me later, he said, Mr. Terry, he said, thank you. He said, because I never looked at myself in the mirror and liked what I saw. I hope you guys are catching this. I let that young man know I'm happy with me. Are you happy with you? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? And he came back to me later and he said to me, Mr. Terry, thank you. When I tell you that touched my whole soul, not a little bit of it, not part of it, but my whole soul. We need to get back. Someone's asking me, Courtney. We need to get back to square one. Get back to loving ourselves. Go back and learn your ABCs in this life. We busy. We are doing way too much. And we're missing something. I wanted God to come in and touch all parts of my life. I want God to do this and that. I said, God, do this for me and that. And God says, I would give you your heart's desire just as soon as you stop being selfish. Ooh, I got on somebody's toes with that one. He's going to give you your heart's desire as soon as you stop being selfish. Some of us are holding on to stuff that we ain't got no business holding on to. We need to go back to square one. These babies have taught me these last 4 days. Mr. Terry has missed the mark more times than I can count. I have missed the mark more times than I can count. And these babies have shown me just that. I hope something that I've said resonates and it helps. Hey, Kenyatta, what's going on? Let's get back to the ABCs. Or like some old school church folks would say.
Connecting to the internet. Please check your Wi-Fi network.
I didn't ask you. Alexa, what's up, Kevin? But anyway, I'm going to go. That's my little spiel. It was 22 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm a little long-winded, but I just wanted to say that. We need to just, my soul was just, it was kind of like stuck in my bones. I had to cut it loose. Listen. Get back to it. Get back to what you love. Get back to you. Get back to you. Love you again. If you're watching this and if you have forgotten how to love you, inbox me. You guys, I'm gonna do it every show. If you've forgotten how to love you, inbox me. I know some people. I know me. You know what I'm saying? I know some folks. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you, man. But we have to. There is something that you have not done yet. There are people that you have not let go of. There are situations that God has said, please walk away from. God has said, just do something else. I got you. Where's the faith at? I got me to rethink and look back in the mirror. Look back in the mirror. Get back in that mirror. Find you. Just saying. Lala, I love you, sister. I hear God say, walk away. Man, let it go. I hear God say, trust me. I got you. I got you. And that goes for anybody else listening. If you're in a spot and you don't know how, God's saying, walk away and trust me. Walk away and trust me. I got you. That's the word. I got you. I'm going to get out of here. You guys, listen, thank you for listening to me and my little rant. I really appreciate y'all. Happy Thursday again. Thanks for joining me. And remember my thing, forgive your past, you guys. Forgive your past. Love yourself. Move on. Forgive your past. Love yourself. Move on. Until next time, y'all have a great one. I'll see you.